Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Evil Dragon XXL, and welcome to here in, I'm only guessing is Italy. I have no idea, to be perfectly honest. It sounds Italy. We're here at a track which I can't pronounce because I'm dyslexic. So, here we are. We are, of course, the best of British. We've got lots of British cars everywhere. We've got McLaren, which is from New Zealand. We've got an Aston Martin, which is kind of now from Germany. We've got a Jaguar, which is from India. So it's the best of nearly British, we'll say that much. But they're all technically originated in Britain, apart from McLaren, I suppose. But we'll gloss over that, of course. And I hope you're all doing very well. I should be joined by a co-commentator potentially later on. We'll find that out as we go on, of course. So I hope everyone gets ready to go. We've got two 20-minute sessions for the start of this brand new season as we're watching one of the McLarens rev their engines up down at turn number 1. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new to this channel as well, and of course hit the notification bell to keep up all of the action. As we're just getting ready to go then in a few moments time for qualifying, we believe. Of course that would be, I believe, around about 10 minutes, give or take a few minutes off or positive as well. Let's have a little on board then, shall we, with one of the drivers as I press buttons. There we go. On board we are then. This is on board with Ethan. He's currently coming through the penultimate couple of corners. Now this circuit, from my very simple things, I say that's qualifying now to start, through the last corner, and I'll take you through an onboard lap and qualifying then, as they've decided to go against me. And there we go then, qualifying started of course, and it is going to be 5 minutes, so I was half nearly right. 5 minutes off. The sounds of many a engine revs up in the distance. So on board then we go with Ethan into turn 1 into turn 2. Little right hand of course, first gear, Railroad already stepping out of course, tyres are going to be a little bit cold. Then down into the right hand, and this corner should be reasonably flat in some cars. I know the Aston Martin might struggle a little bit. Now the toe around here is going to be increasingly important if you want to keep up with other cars. Remember, as well as incidents are always possible down into this corner as well. Downhill braking zone can be pretty tricky, but it does rise back up just at the end of it. So let's see what they can do. Even down into the hairpin. Third gear into that. About 69 miles an hour mid-apex easy speed. He's got one car behind him. That, of course, being Mr. Adaput, who is going down the inside. As Ethan's backing off, he realises he doesn't want to get in the way right there, and he's just thinking of the long game. 5 minutes to go in qualifying, remember, so you've got a little bit of time. So that time as well. Got Ass and DeLacy behind them as well. Over down the field, by the way, in qualifying, who was the last driver on circuit? Well, it's not Lewis, he's in 7th. We've got Monroe in 8th. We've got Mad Mike in 9th. We've got Brian in 10th, and it will be Ozone right down the back lane. Just sitting there ready to go as we are warming the tyres up in his pretty nice livery car. It's white, red and blue. Looks more like a toothpaste. Might call it some Colgate as Adam now starts his lap down to turn number 1. Then on the brakes then for the Aston Martin. Nice through turn 1. Build the revs up into turn 2. Quick right. And then build back those revs into the next right-hander then. This one should nearly be flat. Let's see if he lifts off, to be fair. A little bit of a lift off there, you can see. The Aston Martin not being able to take that corner flat. This really is going to be quite interesting in the race. Remembering, of course, we have got this long straight coming on. Remember, if you're in, say, a McLaren, you can take that corner flat. You should really be able to get one up the inside into this corner. So let's see what they can do. As we're just watching the top 2 right now coming into the bottom of the circuit. That, of course, being Adam and Ethan. And those 2 remaining reasonably close. I can tell you right now, Ethan's looking a little bit quicker in the second sector. In fact, he's all over the rear end of the car in front. And probably wishing he got out the rear right now. But remember, both from flying laps, both have a right to continue where they're going. So this could be quite interesting, but we do believe Ethan should be setting a faster lap time indeed. On board we go back again then with the Swindonian driver. And through the last corner, down on the brakes he comes. Fourth gear into third potentially. Keeps it in fourth then on board. You can see Adam running really wide there in that car. All off the track, and that's not going to help his tyres whatsoever. And here comes Ethan then. Should be provisional P1. Indeed it is. Let's see if anyone can beat him. Then we're looking at the likes of Lewis in 7th position. Now he expecting to be on pole position here potentially. We saw him earlier on about 4 or 5 tenths up the road as they all slot themselves in then. Biggie in 2nd position. Across the line comes Lewis and he sets a 1:33, a not perfect lap time right there. Mad Mike, a 1:29.06. That puts him currently P7 on the grid order right now. So a few drivers setting different laps. It could be quite interesting in the long run to see exactly what the pecking order is as we're looking at that beautiful green. It looks like a little bit of red as well on the side of the car. Really spiffing, even though currently up in P1. 2 tenths up the road from Big in 2nd in the other McLaren. So McLaren run 2 right now. Adam in 3rd. Lacey in 4th in his, well, can I really say the Scooby-Doo van, dressed as an Aston Martin. We got Placenta driving the famous, as he put it, the Jeff Hard livery, or of course it is Jeff Gordon's livery, but I don't think good old Placenta knows who Jeff Gordon is, or Dale Earnhardt is, to be fair. He's mistook him for different drivers, even across the line. And see, down 2 tenths on this lap time. Big in 2nd still. We've got some 20 seconds to go in qualifying, so if they're improving now. Placenta does improve a little bit. Let's see what likes of Lewis can do. He is down in 11th position, wants to be up the field, goes fastest. And then 1:27.153 into P1. A tenth quicker than Ethan. Monroe in 3rd, but we've got 1 more lap for the drivers to go. Ethan down by 2 tenths in the 1st sector. Let's see what everyone else is doing. As we scroll through the field, you can see 2 drivers will not finish lap time. Monroe up to 4th position then. Monica's what I say, behind Monroe in 3rd. So far, look, it is the 2 rivals from Sidemax, 1st and 2nd position on the road. And you can see behind them, Adam in 6th position, looking like he wants to improve, up 4 tenths on his respective time so far. Flashing Ethan, move over, he says, I'm going for 1st. And let's see what he can do. Well, it might not be 1st, but he's only 7 tenths off, so it should be good enough for 3rd if he gets this lap completed. Through the last couple of corners he comes, then down the hill. Oh dear! Has he gone round? Well, I think he certainly has. Well, he's not back. There he is. And he seems to have just about caught it, but that is that lap done, and he is going to not improve, I don't think. If he does, he's not away by much. He's down by 7,000. A little bit wide there at the last corner, and that really cost him when it mattered most. As everyone else goes to the line there. Big does improve his time, 1:27.3. So small improvement for him as we're now waiting for everyone else. Vulcan then crosses the line, a 1:27.0. Does improve his lap time now to just over 2.5 tenths quicker. But that qualifying pretty much all but over, if I'm not mistaken, waiting for 1 more to cross the line. And there we go. So it's Vulcan ahead of Ethan then, 1st and 2nd, with the Frenchie in 3rd. Of course, round 1 here for the GT4 Best of British Cup. And a nice full grid of cars that only one of them are really kind of just about from Britain, though it's more German nowadays, but nonetheless, we'll just say they're all British in history. We'll let them flow. But right now, Vulcan, Ethan, then Monroe, then we've got Big, Brian, Adam, Lacey, Placenta, Ozo, then we've got Ash and Mad Mike down the back of the field then, and let's see, as we are now underway then here at this beautiful circuit here in Italy. It's a good start, looks like, from the top 2. 3rd position though, I think, got a good start. That is Monroe into turn number 1. Down the inside he comes then of Ethan. A little bit argy-bargy low, looks like a little bit puss wide. I'm not going to lie there. Looks like The French driver getting his elbows out. It hasn't worked, of course. Ethan fighting back like he should, certainly will do so. Down the hill we come then, and then straight away, a few drivers mixing it up in the midfield, but it's Lewis leads this way then from Ethan. Then we've got Big, then we've got Monroe, and then comes Adam down there in 5th position. Good start for him. Brian ahead of a Lacey, Asp, Placenta. Then we've got Ozone right down the back. He's had a poor start in the Aston Martin, I believe that is. Right down the back there. I think it is the Aston Martin, or is it the Jaguar? Very hard to tell. I think it's the Jaguar. It is the Jag. Up front, though, Lewis still leads this race. We've got 3 wide early in the background. There are these bubbler cars. As Big trying to go around the outside, then Brian keeping the inside. Monroe on the grass down the inside of that one. There's combs flying everywhere. It's like a rodeo ride down here, you might say, in the battle of the ages right here. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, all in a bit of a line right now. As round the outside, looks like Big's done him round the outside of Adam. We've got Lacey coming in. This in the other McLaren now getting involved. One of the Jaguars on the outside of Monroe. He's dropped down from 3rd. Poor start for him, you might say. It's off the road. Lacey goes then, and that's going to be a spin. If he can get it together, he does do so then. Lewis fast slap all Raylan, so he's pushing on. Leads this field by about 2 seconds nearly, I believe, give or take. 1.2 seconds. As Big and Adiput battling themselves through into turn number 1. Looking pretty comfortable right now. These two rubbing tyres, rubbing rims down into the right-hander. Remember, the McLaren should have the line here, should reasonably be able to get ahead, though. Never say that, though. The Aston Martin holding his line up the hill. And let's see into the right-hander, which is now ahead ourselves. So the crest, and then back down the hill we go then. McLaren now ahead. We've got the Aston Martin, we've got the Jaguar, almost going free abreast there. As covering the inside line goes the McLaren there. Forces him the long way around. The Aston Martin and the Jaguar still trying to go free abreast into the old hairpin we go there, and run out the exit. And up back the crest we come then into the left right. Fast king, and there's still Adam fighting all his whip here. As the Jaguar gets involved, the Aston Martin comes through. And now the McLaren, rather in the sandwich of 2 big cars that look very similar in certain angles. As now up the inside goes the McLaren. A little of contact there, but he gets away with it this time around. And up back down the inside he goes. And these 3 drivers really battling a world through. We've got one car down the back who's spun it, and that is Mad Mike, who's gone spinning himself around in the Jaguar. As back to this action we go. These 3 still holding station, still battling their way through. Behind them, by the way, we've got a Lacey now bound in there. We've got Placenta in 8th. Mad Mike has said no, he's gone out of the session. Ozone right down the back lane in 10th position. Shame we've lost one driver already. Would love to have seen them carry on. As Lewis takes a flying action there over the bollard, but he's got away with that one on my screen. I think, of course, that is just for my screen and a few others that might come up as well if they've got the combs on their screen. Ethan running in 2nd right now. We've got 3rd position Brian in the other Aston Martin. Looking reasonably promising right now. He's keeping up there. He's only about a 2nd behind the 2 Cymax drivers. Then we've got a bit of a gap there. About 3 seconds to these 2 free drivers. As the inside still Monroe battling their way through. There, and you can see a Lacey now coming through up the inside as well. There in the McLaren. So, sorry, the McLaren who's dressed as a Peugeot, might I say. Unless I'm very much mistaken. Which I very much could be. The Dutch driver, of course. And now ahead of the Frenchman, the McLaren Peugeot. Haven't heard that one since 1994, if I'm not too mistaken, of course. When, of course, the Formula 1 team of McLaren run Peugeot engines, if I'm not too mistaken, back then. Not the only time they've run French manufacturers, though, in the back of their cars. Top 2 still together then. Top 3 really all kind of in a little bubble of their cars. Then we got Adam now starting to pull away a little bit then from the rest of the field. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, down pretty much to 10th. All in a big line though. So still a lot of action to come in this race. We've got a few drivers really punching. I've got to say that I'm pretty happy to see Brian doing quite well, of course. He's indeed challenging Ethan down to the hairpin again. He's getting a bit closer right now. On board we go then with the Aston Martin. You can see there one hand on his wheel as he takes the corner. The hallmarks of a driver who's pushing it very hard Indeed, now up the hill we come. You can definitely tell the McLaren a lot slower in a straight line here compared to the Aston Martin, especially see down here as well, just closing up. Remember with the slipstream as well, you're getting an added toe for benefit, but the Aston Martin definitely seems to be a bit of a quicker car in a straight line. So Ethan's having to use all his knowledge and all his expertise of driving. Of course, one of the more experienced drivers in this field, as he gets his wheel on the grass as I say that, and then nearly runs wide. But nonetheless, he's carrying on. He's not going off the road just yet, as I was curse him. Still second position. In the background there, Adam flashing his light saying, I'm coming! As in the inside of he goes. Then the Aston Martin has a little lurk, decides to back off of that one there. He doesn't realise that if he tried to commit, it'd be contact. Now has another nibble up the inside. But here the right hand at the Aston Martin is not going to be able to go as fast as the McLaren. As again then, down the hill we come then, second and third, still running nose to tail. And there now goes the Aston Martin down the inside. This would be a reasonably easy move, you'd reckon. Late braking then from the Aston Martin, but Ethan's having none of it, trying to fight around the outside. It might be a futile effort, of course. We know the Aston Martin, in theory, should be in a quicker car. Looking at Lewis, by the way, who is now nearly 4 seconds up the road. And these two battling are only helping Lewis up the road, of course. And now it looks like Brian, he's got the finger on the buzzer and he's pulsing up the road a bit more. Now second, Ethan now reverted down into third position, where he started, of course, being second. Adam not too far back in the other Aston Martin, the other McLaren following suit. Then we've got the Jaguar in sixth position. Not having a good day for the Jaguar team. Only, I think, two of them left in this race. Indeed so. Up front though, Lewis still leading this race. Under margin right now, I've got to say 4.5 seconds. He's really got the bit between his teeth. As Ethan's got back past Brian then into turn number one. So he's going, no, my friend, you are not having this like that. I am going to be in second position, whether you like it or not. As a bit of a wibble wobble on the exit of that corner is not what he wants to do with 12 minutes to go in this session, but he has pulled. Crucially, a bit of a gap here as he comes down the straight, because we know if that Aston Martin gets a sliver of hope, it will go for it down the straight. He needs to be around about 2 tenths behind as he comes onto the straight, and he should be able to get alongside. Look, he's trying it down the inside there. A little bit of a dive bomb there. A little bit naughty, but I think he's just about got away with it. Ethan's going to go and fight it all his worth then. Up the hill, into the left, right we go then. The Aston Martin still keeping the inside. Now has to back off on the exit, because he knows there is not a gap going to appear. So decides to think of a different line. Now he'll have a look up the inside, but again, Ethan covers that line off perfectly. Behind them as well, we got Adam coming into this battle as well. The Aston Martins now starting to gang up on the McLaren then. So you can see Ethan's, unfortunately, looks like the car just is not got the pace potentially, as I fear may be the case, most certainly, figuring the other McLaren also not too far back either, but not making gains, as Adam now decides to come up the inside of Brian. Brian gives a bit of a squeeze. Up the inside comes Adam to turn number one, as they all follow through. And now Ethan's got himself a little bit of a buffer again, then a 310. But now we've got a new driver behind to chase the pack, and that there, ooh, two-wheeling there is Brian. He's on the grass. Is he keeping it on the straight? In narrow, he just about is there, but one wheel off the wagon. That's, oh, we got a car in the wall there, and that's Monroe, and that's a big off into the wall. Backwards, frontwards, into the barrier, and that pretty much is that over for him. He's going to have to get the car back going again. Indeed, he will do so, but that pretty much confirms where he's finishing. Unfortunate to say the least. Just look at Lewis up the road, though. 6.2 seconds. Surely nothing can go wrong for this driver right now. The Birmingham driver, of course, born and raised in Dudley. Up north, we've got Ethan in second from Swindon. We've got good old Adam from a shed, I think, somewhere in the north. And then we've got Belgium. Of course, got to say, by the way, loving the liveries we've got this season already into the long left-hander down the hill. We've still got these three drivers gaggling up on each other, but none of them being able to press Lewis. Behind them, by the way, we keep a look at it, by the way, we've got Placenta in 6th, we've got 7th of Ass, we've got Alacy in 8th, Ozone in 9th. Of course, Monroe down the back after that spin earlier on. Back to the battle then, really, for pretty much 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, I might say. All reasonably close. You've got the other McLaren not too far back. He's keeping with them there, a little bit wide into the corner, but he keeps himself on the straight and narrow. And board we go then with 4th position. And you can see here, 3rd position now of Adam having a little look. Even goes covers the inside line, and let's see, forces him to go the long way around. Now that might not have worked for him here. Let's see if he's going to have to lose the late braking. Indeed, he has done so. They're a little bit wide there for Adam. That's going to allow his teammate to come back alongside him for say. And let's see, these two side by side, even just holding the fort there. And look at these two battling away then. Belgium in Britain. Going at it there, and they can see now up the inside. Looks like Brian's got a little lunge on Ethan. Again, though, Ethan covering that. What a bit of contact on the exit as well. Leads free. Getting a little bit bumpy right now. It's almost like a NASCAR race. See that? Woohoo! Really out of shape right now. Brian all over him. Now up the inside. Here comes Adam. Dives down the inside. He says, I am having this 3rd position. I want that 2nd from Ethan. And here we go, and then down the straight. Ethan's got to cover it because we know how quick the Aston Martin is in a straight line. Ethan's now going to pull alongside to try and squeeze him into turn 1 as much as he can. Has he done enough? I think he has done. I think almost contact. There is a bit of contact there into turn number 1 between these two drivers. Now there are Adam and there is Monaco. Now the other car, the other McLaren getting involved. There's more contact down the straight. There's now Big getting involved. And this is all going to be helping Ethan. He's going to be smiling in that cockpit. As you can see, though, down the straight, Brian hasn't got the speed. Well, Big hasn't got the speed. He's going to have a lunge into the corner. Can't quite do it. Brian Big snap of over on the exit, though. And he's pushing this car extremely hard. Fastest lap, by the way, a 1:26.6 for your race leader. Is 2nd and 3rd. Still their titanic duel of the battle of the fates. And let's see what they can do. Adam now having to try and get past. Let's see if he can do it, of course. He's had a few laps behind. We've got just over 7 minutes to go in this session remaining of race 1 of 2. Remember, after this, if I'm not mistaken, it is going to be the same grid format, though I will be updated and will let you know if that is different in due course after the session's finished, because I'll find out. Here we go then. Adam's going to have a look down into turn number 1 again. Let's see then. Even getting covers that inside line. Really doing it this time. Let's see, round the outside he comes, and has he got alongside? He's on the inside, but bad exit for him. He's gone in the grass. I think he's now dropped a few positions down to 5th, and now comes back up the inside of the McLaren. So Adam looking quick, but again, these costly small mistakes really cost him in the long run. Maybe if he was doing a bit more practice, perhaps he might be a little bit higher up the road and fighting, but look at, he's just looking a little bit out of shape right now. As again, the McLaren tries to come up the inside of him, but again, no straight line speed in that car. And that is the proof in the pudding. Potentially the Aston Martins need a little bit less speed, and maybe the McLarens need a bit more horsepower potentially. I say that. The McLaren up the inside, and he gets the job done. A bit of bang, bang, bang on the exit. As Big now around the outside, Adam trying to force him a long way around the outside there. Again, looks like Brian having a look on the inside of Ethan into the corner. Let's see. Now he has the inside line. Ethan has to force himself out a little bit wide. A bit of argy-bargy there. Ethan forced off onto the grass, off onto the AstroTurf as well. Still side by side down here. Now Ethan's going to try and squeeze him as much as he can, as wide as he can. Runs a little bit deep, runs himself off the road there a little bit, but I think just about keeps it on the straight and narrow. Indeed, somehow manages to find a bit of a gap and a bit more speed as well on the exit. Up the inside there as Adam again comes down into turn number 1. He's freed 4 drivers. Oh, up the inside there. That's a bit of contact. That's Ass. Where's he coming from? As I think, as Big Gordon a little bit spinning. Now he's got Dale Harder, Jeff Harder, you now call him, up the inside there for Placenta into 6th position. And Lewis up the front. Well, he's having a nice holiday cruise. Second and third, low and fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. All in a bit of a gaggle of cars. Here comes Ozone, then coming back down the outside of Big, who was running third, now running down the back. I think he's just nerfed off Placenta a little bit wide. Indeed, he has hit Placenta wide. As now these two battle themselves down the hill again into the left and right. And still, Big holds his line. Placenta runs a little bit wide, a bit more contact behind then from the Colgate livery, might I say, then, of Ozone. As we continue this look of second, third and fourth. On board we are. We've got the Jaguar of Ash sitting not too far behind. Ash doing a very good job, might I say, in that car to keep up with these goggles. He's still got a chance of a podium. As again they're up the inside. And again really forcing his agenda. Is Ash. And now he gets back past yet again. As Brian's gone for a massive lunge there, and surely he almost hit Ethan. Indeed, he almost did so. Brian, absolutely all wheels locked up. Ash has gone for it. Ash has really gone for it. He's got through, I think. A little bit wavered on the exit, but he's done the deed with 3 minutes to go here in the first race of two. And this is rather turning into a rodeo session right now here as we are coming to the last 2 laps. Oh, right on the grass. He got away with that time. Oh dear, Adam. Oh, he's gone off into the grass. And Ash now up to third. And that really is going to spice up this race a little bit. Now can Ash go challenge for a podium? I don't see that very often, Lee, as now Ozone comes through. Adam's been rather plumped in the sand pit. And now drops down the field with the dirt on the tyres. And one small mistake here, remember, will drop you all the way down the field. You might be running in second, but one mistake and you're running down 7th, 8th, or even worse. The only driver right now who hasn't got a worry, Lewis up front. Adam, though, looking down to turn number 1 again, though, trying to get back through this field as quick as he can. He doesn't want to be held down here. He wants to really get around about that 4th position. And you've got to look at it, by the way, as the bulk of it is. He's not too far away from that podium still. They're all right there. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Of course, leading this field, Lewis, who's now coming to lap, I believe. And that must be Salacy going slowly down the back. So, what's going on there for him? He's got some issues then in his car. That's a shame for him. But Ethan, they're a little bit wide there. And out the inside, that is Brian. Down the inside, into the left-right kink. And gets the job done. A bit of contact there on the exit. As now, plus that Ash is now going to try and have a look around the outside. As I believe Brian has a look up the inside of Ethan. And these 3 drivers all trying to go for the same bit of real estate at the same time. Last lap, we believe now, will be on. Unless I'm very much mistaken, this should be the final lap of this race. Indeed, I believe so. Even a little bit wide on the exit of that corner. One of the only drivers I've seen, I think, unless Lewis is doing it, running quite wide there. You can see one of the back cars as well. I think that's Placenta running a little bit wide. And just using all the road he can. Even a little bit wide into turn number 1. That might cost him on the exit. Just has to park the bus here. He knows he's got more grip through this corner. He knows he's got the speed. Brian's going to try and keep his nose as long as he can to go up the inside. Now Ethan's in a real spot of bother. He's going to have to fight this one then. Let's see if he can do it. Now Brian's got through. He has to go and pull to the inside. He has to really just force it. Go one way, go the other, try and do the dummy. But he can't do it. Look on the inside. That's almost in the wall there. Almost put him in the wall as at the inside. Even down the inside he goes, leg braking manoeuvre. There comes the other McLaren going through as well. They're coming alive in this race. Ass back into third. This is fantastic battling here. Look at them, they're almost 4 abreast in the background here. You don't see this very often. This is absolutely C9 unbelievable. Ethan wide. Now Ash through in a second. Big in third. Ethan's got a bit of an issue there. And now Big into second position. This is absolutely pandemonium. What is going on here? All I can say for certain is Lewis is coming through the last corner and Lewis is going to win this race. Who really doesn't bother about this one? It's a battle for second, third and fourth we want to be watching. Who's it going to be? I think it's going to be Big in second. Ashley in third. We've got one car off the road of Adam in fourth. I think he's going to drop all the way down the back. Oh dear, we're in Ozone in trouble as well. And what a battle we've got there. Big in second. Ash on the podium. Ethan in fourth. Brian fifth. And Ozone sixth. Adam seventh. Placenta the Denter in eighth. Ninth position for Monroe. And a Lacey down in 10th. And someone's saying, what is wrong with the McLarens? They are terrible in a straight line. I can only say, for sure, they are not been BOP'd very much as close as they can see as everyone now teleports himself back to the old pit road. And now, time to recatch your breath. Time to all just sit back and relax. Just a few more moments and then we'll get back to racing again here in Italy. And as of course, like you said, congratulations to Raz on the podium then. We don't see that as often. Indeed, it is a reverse grid race, as I for sure in my head would happen, and Ash probably absolutely stunned for that one, that last lap moment. Who really knew who was going to get the podium? And it was in the end Ash driving his heart out, might I say, to get that spot on the podium. As Lacey has left the room. I'm not quite sure why he's done that. I believe he's got an issue potentially. But back to the live feed we go. Then nice sunset for all the drivers as my ears get blasted with the sound of music. And do apologise, by the way, if the audio is too loud, do let me know and I can change it for the future. If you're just joining us, by the way, do feel free to like and subscribe, like I mentioned earlier, and do not forget to watch that first race. An absolutely titanic scrap between about 6 drivers on the last lap. We don't see it very often, although it wasn't for the lead. That does not matter. It was a titanic scrap for second, third and fourth. And Lewis really must have been missing that one. He might have won the race. But that's not what he wants to be doing, is he's gone to jump in the McLaren for a temporary few moments just to have a little feel about it as well. He dominated the first race so much, maybe he feels sorry, wants to go in a slower car. Ozone says, can I go and get a beer? Well, he certainly could go and get a beer. Now, don't forget, by the way, do not drink and drive. It's very naughty, and if you do it in real life, I'm imagining bad things are going to happen to you, and certainly I do hope they will. You shouldn't be drinking and driving on the roads. But in game, also don't drink and drive. It doesn't end well. But going back to that first race, and it was really a race of attrition, really race of 2 halves, might I say as well. It was really Lewis just doing time trial and then everyone else having an absolute scalp down the back of the field. And boy oh boy, was it one of the best races I've seen in such a long time to commentate on. So very close, so very much alive. As you can see, Lewis here just having a little battle right now. He's just battling his way with Monroe. Keeping me entertained right now as he comes into the last couple of corners. A little bit on the curb there, a little bit drifting through the exit. He's giving himself a nice showcase right there. A little bit wayward. I'll give that a solid about 5 out of 10. As of course, running the pink livery, if I'm not too mistaken, is his overalls. That or it's just very pink liveries, overalls. Down to turn 1. This is still turning into quite a scrap right now, an interesting race, might I say, as well. As okay, some of your comments in that are jumping in the chat. As you're saying, a custom BOP will be introduced for the next event. The McLaren seems very hampered. Indeed, I agree there. It does need a little bit more horsepower and potentially a little bit less rate. One of the two, of course. The Adamans, I imagine, will solve that in due course. But what has been an absolutely titanic race this season. We've only started the season already. We've got a lot to try and beat from this first race. Remember, reverse grid, so anything is possible. Now, the only issue is, by the way, and if you're wondering why I do sometimes feel like I missed the start, it is due to the fact I'm not getting the 5 lights coming on, and that is a little, or at least the countdown. That is a little bit of a shame, so I'm going to have to have a little guess of when we are starting. As, again, we're looking at Vulcan driving himself in first position. Now we should be coming in the pit lane to change on to the into the Aston Martin again, surely. I'm very much mistaken. He's got 2 minutes to go, so surely he's changing car, is he not? Well, I must be very much mistaken. He must be trying to go in the McLaren then, unless he is going to change in the last second, of course. And I can't imagine why he wouldn't. Unless he just wants to have a race, of course. He dominated the first one by so much. Maybe he is going to go in it. Only 9 drivers, of course. We've lost 2 from earlier on. I believe we lost a Lacey and we've lost one of the other Jaguars from earlier on as well. As I do believe Lewis is staying in the McLaren. I can only imagine, because he said 2 minutes until we start the race. Lewis has not changed the car. So if all things certainly point at it, it certainly must be he's driving in that car, unless they are just waiting for him to change. But surely I'd imagine that is against regulations to drive in 2 different cars. But let's find out. I'm sure he would change. 8 attempts up on his lap time there. As indeed he is going to change the car then, so he decides then he is going to jump back in his Aston Martin, and let's see what he can do in race number 2. He'll be starting, of course, from the back of the grid. Remember, 1 by 11 seconds, and it feels which is so very much close. It could prove to be a very interesting race indeed. And the drivers, especially those running in the likes of the Aston Martins, will be looking for very good results here today. We can see Lewis back in his car as well. Remember, no qualifying, it's just a reverse grid formatted race. So meaning that it should be, if I'm not too mistaken, Ozone on pole position. Or it might not be Ozone, actually. No, it's not. So it's Monroe on pole from Placenta, Adam, then Ozone in 4th, Brian from Ethan, Ash from Big, and Vulcan down the back lane. Here we are on the grid. And getting ready then for 5 lights to go off. And when they are, we'll be back racing in for race number 2. And it's ready to go then in just a few moments' time. And when they do go off, we're underway then here in the second race. Bad start then from the back. There's contact right out the back. Looked like Adam running into the back layer. It might have been of Monica. Into turn 1 we go then. Sorry, that must have been someone else running to the back of someone else. Indeed, Placenta in 2nd, Adam in 3rd, Ozone, Ethan then in 5th, Big in 6th, Lewis already up to 7th. Ash, I believe, was one of the bystanders. He was the one, I think, that went into the back of, might have been Monaco, who had an awful start. at the start of this race, but up front it's Monroe leading from the centre in second. Then comes the Aston Martin of Adam, who really now wants to get on with this and win this race. He's already surely got a good chance at it because he is the leading Aston Martin in this field and already challenging the second position as they come up the S section for the first time. But it is plus Monroe now who leads this field. He's got a little bit of a gap of about a second already. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, all the way down the field is now As on the inside of Ethan. As a look here, battling with Lewis as well. Lewis in 8th position as well. And these three drivers driving incredibly well at the start of this race as Lewis has a little look up the inside there, decides better of it. It's a long race, it's 20 minutes. Now he says, I am going the inside, my friend, and does take it straight away then, so he's not sitting back as at all. Started last, already coming through the field. Up the inside there is 5th position. Up the inside then, I believe that might be on Ozone. He runs a little bit wide down onto the grass and in the path of Ethan and Lewis. And dropping back down the field is Ozone, then swamped by one, swamped by the other, as Lewis is now up to 5th position ahead of Vulcan then. Vulcan ahead of Rotary. So 5th and 6th switch around then as again Ash battling his way with Ozone then between the two Aston Jaguar. Might I say, not the Aston Martin, both the Jags. As Ethan then holds the line. Again, you can just see how much slower that car just looks in a straight line. Compared to the rest of the field, he's about, I'd probably say about 4 or 5 miles an hour slower, potentially even more than that. Adam still running second now. He's got ahead of Placenta in third. Behind them low, we've got Big. Then comes surely the favourite to win this race of Lewis, as Big gets himself a little bit airborne there over those bumps, over the invisible, probably to his screen, but visible on my screen, little bump right there. Lewis then trying around the outside into the last corner. This is brave from Lewis. Trying himself right around the outside. Can he do it? A little bit too wide there. He's not going to do it around here. But surely he's going to have the look up the inside. I don't think Big can do anything down to turn number 1. He may have the slipstream down the inside though. Has Lewis got the late braking? Holds the outside. Now tries to do the old switcheroo then on the exit. Still can't quite do it though. Has to just hold line, hold station. Down the hill we go. Up front though, Monroe still leads this race. And he's doing exactly what Lewis was doing earlier on. If he gets clean air, he can try and pump on and go for it. Lewis tries to go around the outside then. This is brave from Lewis. Well, he tried it once and he did it, but the second time of asking him going around the outside, he doesn't even need the braking zone. He's already done it, but the McLaren, having none of it, is going to go back down the inside. Lewis really should have covered that one a bit more. Left the door open, and he then, poor old Big, rolls down the inside like a kidnapper, and he's taking him hostage. Lewis, though, he's fighting back, and let's see if the hostage situation is resolved. And Lewis seems to be fighting back free. Now down the inside, he comes into the last couple of corners then. I think this is turn 7, 8 or maybe 9. And now back through. Vulcan back ahead then of the McLaren. As the McLarens now line themselves astern in 5th and 6th position. Ethan wants to be getting ahead then of Big as soon as he can. As third now the other McLaren to be dispatched as well. Turn number 1, Vulcan, now on the tail of the number 24 of Jeff Hard, might I say. Placenta Denta, known as Jeff Hard now. Currently running third, though I don't know how long that's going to stay. Surely I can only imagine it's going to be staying for about a corner, because here comes the Aston Martin. And by howdy, look at the speed it's got. It's almost like a rocket ship down the inside, and he can't do anything. He absolutely can't do anything. They're down the inside. It's like taking candy from a baby there. Though I say along the exit, Lewis a bad exit low up the hill, and now Placenta has the move back to the inside. Lewis there, a little bit of a mistake, and really he should be getting past the drivers with ease. down the straight, but small mistakes for him. It's costing him in the long run. The McLaren may indeed be better in the corners as now Big comes down the inside, so Lewis being swapped. And this really is a little bit surprising then for the man who dominated race 1. Now finds himself battling himself down with 3rd and 4th. Now he wants to be getting a move on. Now we know, of course, turn 1 is a fan favourite of the drivers. Again, we see Lewis now getting the inside line. Now he's getting the elbows out. And let's see then. The Aston Martin again waltzes past the McLaren. This time it looks like he's done him for sure. Indeed he has. Oh, bit of contact. There and that is, I believe that must have been Big bumping into placenta there. That's allowed Ethan then to come through into 5th position. And these 3 drivers battling themselves away. And I'm trying to get the replay mode to work, but it seems to be not working on my keyboard today. That is being a bit of a shame. I'll see if I can figure that out as well. 30 minutes to go here in this second race. Now Ethan now has a look down the inside into the bottom of the hairpin. Now he gets past there. Oh, Lewis! Oh, dear! As he's round there. And that is not what the Aston Martin wanted to be doing. Spinning around, and Lewis now rather put himself down in the battle for the Middle Ages here. He's getting pushed. Oh, he's off into the wall there. Oh dear. And now last. Well, I might have said earlier on, if you go off the road front, you're dropping right down the field. And well, boy, oh howdy, Lewis has dropped it then. Looked like he just got in the grass. And they're the leader off the road. As well, they're all dropping it now all of a sudden. First position. He might be leading it, but he's pushing it very hard. Adam off almost into the wall as well. Then Placenta in 3rd. And then these 2 then of Ethan and Big still battling themselves away for 4th and 5th position. Ethan has the inside line, but the inside line for the next corner is Big's position to win or lose. On board we are then with the driver from Swindon. Still fighting hard, still trying to push on heavily. He's doing it now surely for Max as well. Remember, he is the lead car. After, well, really, his fellow comrade has dropped it into the gravel and right down the back of the field. I'm sure we'll see him again, of course, later in this race. I would be surprised if we didn't. Down the inside, Ethan comes late on the brakes. Then the McLaren, the number 420. Of course, not doing a 420 degrees spin. Unlike Lewis earlier on, as now again though, Big good exit speed then. Let's see if he can still have the inside there. He's got the nose in. And he might just be able to fight this one on the exit. Indeed, he does do so. Down on the brakes into the corner. Ethan, and the wily old fox he is, though, trying to do the old switcheroo on the exit. He can do it down here, of course. A bit of contact on the exit for good measure, but they've all fine and dandy. As they now run themselves up towards the last corner. Ethan now going to try the long way around the outside. And then see if he can do it around the outside here. Big trying to force him in the long way round. Trying to force him as wide as he can. Ethan then has to just tuck into the back of him. Then on board we go then again. Through down into turn number 1. And left or right. He's going to go left then. He has no choice, of course. If he goes to the outside, he's going in the wall. And now this time down the inside. Can he do it? Again though. Big holding on to 4th position. And looking at the rear camera then from the McLaren, ahead of the McLaren, behind the McLaren. And Ethan rather pushing him now through the corner. He wants to get through. Which way is he going to go? Left or right? Well, he's going to go to the outside now. Is he going to try the old switcheroo and dive down the inside then? He's not going to do the dummy. He might do the undercut though if he's not too careful. You can just see there. Ethan looks a lot more comfortable through that corner. And again now, like last time, these 2 are going to go side by side into the S section. Up front, Monroe still leads then from Adam. As Ethan there trying to go one way, then the other. As now side by side we believe they might be, as I try and get the camera to behave. There we go. On board then with Ethan. Is he still trying to go up the inside? Let's see. Still can't quite do it. Now let's see again. Trying to fight. He has more turn and he's got more confidence in the front of the car. However, that does not mean diddly squat to Big, who's just parking it in all the right places. Catching is one thing here, of course. Passing most certainly is another. As even there, a little bit of contact, I think, potentially. Though I think they might have just got away. I think Big also ran a bit deep in the corner. Behind them, Lewis catching back up on this battle as well. And you can start to sense a little bit of frustration. You can see the podium just up the road, slightly floating away. He knows he's a quicker driver. But Big just parking it just where he needs to do, just to stop him. And he's doing it beautifully, might I say. Again comes the inside. If I was even right now, I'd have tried the dummy, really. Because it doesn't seem to be working. Now let's see if we can get the undercut yet again then round the outside here. And he's tried this one once, he's tried this one now twice, and now he's got a lot more alongside. Now he has the move pretty much one-handed on. Now he just has to finish it off. Squeeze him out wide, give him no room to fight. And let's see, but Big still trying it. Now Ethan does exactly that, squeezes him. The door is open on the inside. Big tries it, can't quite do it. And now Ethan finally up to fourth. Then after somewhat nearly 10 minutes of trying, as now I think Lewis, they're already trying to come through. And in what it's been about 4, 5, maybe 6 laps of trying for Ethan, Lewis has gone and done him in 1 lap. Not even that, a corner. The Aston Martin on fire. Big going to come back down the inside into turn number 1. Bit of contact. Forces Lewis off the road. Lewis is now going to presumably return the favour and squeeze him a bit wide. Cuts all opportunity to come through. Off indeed. As up the hill we again come. Behind them, by the way, if you're wondering, we've got Ozone. And then we've got Brian Monica in the other car then, trying to come down the inside. That, I believe, it might be another Aston Martin. It is the other Aston Martin. And as up the inside he comes on the Jaguar. But up front it is Jaguar leading from Aston Martin. McLaren third, McLaren fourth, McLaren fifth. Then comes the Aston Martin in 6th and 7th position. Ahead of Ozone in 8th in the Jaguar, and 9th of the other Jag in 9th position of Ash, of course, after that beautiful podium just some 20 odd minutes ago, finds himself stone dead last. The cruel irony of these races, of course, you can go from hero to zero in a second. Now I do want to continue bringing your attention here on 2nd position, because the gap is sitting itself around about 3.5 seconds, and I'm looking at it and it doesn't seem to be dropping that much. Looks like the Jag seems to have got the match of the Aston Martin, it seems, at this point of the race, though I'm not quite sure. That might just be Adams a little bit slower potentially than the pure potential of the Aston Martin in full race trim. But certainly looking at the Lewis, who really should be pushing a lot faster than he is driving right now. Really wants to be getting a podium. He's not too far off at this current time. That one spin earlier on, a rookie mistake there again, losing the rear end. And these small errors really costing him in the long run. Behind them, you can see that it's gaggle of cars, and boy, howdy, they're having a gaggle of cars. They're almost 3 wide, are they, in the background? Look at this on board, looking in the backwards from Lewis. And that layer of Ozone, that layer of Brian and Big there, now down to 8th position. And it just shows how quickly you can drop in this field. We've now got some 5 minutes to go. That is, of course, around about 3 laps, if or take. So let's see, of course, what they can do in this beautiful race. Might be a little bit more quiet than the first race. There is up the inside. A late braking there from Brian. He's trying to get past there of Ozone. He's holding on to this 6th position right now. Big in 7th after that small mistake, we believe, is now from earlier on. That is the reason why he's dropped back, because he was right with Lewis, Ethan and Placenta in that little gaggle of cars. just a few moments ago, so a small mistake there for him has dropped him further down the field. Now though, up the inside, the slipstream really, and the slingshot, the Aston Martin as well, with that added power it seems to have down the inside, though I say that it's not really coming out in full show right now, is it? But up to 7th position again, 8th now for Big in that 8th position. He's a big 8 for Big and 86, of course. Brian Monica now under pressure again, as now Big comes back down the inside then. Little bit argy-bargy right there, if I must say so. And that was a day late and very much a dollar short. A little bit ruthless, a little bit out of control. He got the inside line and rather just forced him wide. Of course, that is racing in some essence, but you don't want to be forcing drivers off the road like that just to get past the push to pass. You might say that most certainly was. Up front, the gap is seemingly opening now. It is now 4.6 seconds. Seeming the Jaguar has the pace off the road there. Ethan off the road. He got it back on. Yes, he has. But now look who's got behind him. And now I believe alongside him, actually, is he not? Yes, he is alongside, and Lewis now ahead. He's ahead of Ethan now, so passing the McLaren. For whatever reason, went a little bit wide just a few moments ago, as again, I'm trying to get the replay to work, but it's just not doing so, unfortunately, so I will proceed to not do the replay, unfortunately. I would love to see exactly what happened. We believe he just went wide then. That would be at turn 2 into pretty much turn 3, a little bit wide. And that is all she wrote. With just 2 minutes to go, so we'll have 2 more laps here today. Ethan's not too far behind now. Lewis, the number 51, surely now wants to be trying to get onto the back of 3rd position as quick as he can. The Aston Martin. This surely is now the true pace of Lewis starting to come unfolded. Maybe if he didn't spin earlier on, he could have potentially gone on to win this race. But now he's challenging around the outside. Indiscernible one, down on the brakes. Let's see if we can do it. Now the cut back, the old switcheroo then. Right. Now let's see if he's going to do the double one. Placenta holds his line. And remember, load this corner is where Lewis tried to come through earlier on. He did do so on Ethan. Placenta's going to have to really try and cover this one, but I don't think he can do much. He'll try and cover the inside line. As Lewis rather tries to give him a nudge, to be fair. And let's see which way is he going to go. He's going to go left. And now he's going to try the cutback. Lewis really there. If he didn't bump him, I'm not quite sure he didn't try to, if he ran into the back of him there by accident, or that was just a bit of a miskeyed moment. But into the back. Now let's see if he's got any opportunity here. We know you can pass down here, but Lewis just holding his chickens in the basket right now. We now have just 1 lap to go. This will be the final lap. The leader's just coming on to now. As Lewis is still trying to get through, and see if he's going to try and wait it down to Tom. He doesn't want to wait too long though, because looking back, Ethan's not too far behind either. And let's see this time then. Lewis surely now is going to pull to the inside, sliver out from the rear, and try and come through. Ethan's just sitting there waiting to pick up the pieces. But again, Lewis not doing so. You'd thought surely Lewis might try and come through, and he's going to get punished for it. You see, because now Ethan's going to come through. We're on the final lap of this race, and Lewis a little bit sleepy there, not trying his best there, you might say. Surely he should easily been able to get past both of these cars, and now surely the chance of a podium is off. Ethan's going to cover the inside line. He's going to go one way, then the other, then the other. Lewis is forced the long way round. Late on the brakes. Still can't do it. And this has been just a common trend of race 2. Race 1's winner, when it matters most, can't do it. Now trying to go around the outside to the inside. Bit of contact there. Oh, in the air. As well, over the comb. Still nothing to show through the last corner though. Monroe, he rather took the lead from earlier on, a quiet race from Paul. He'll win the race as Adam just about crosses the line in second position. All's caught up right there. Placenta in third. Ethan in fourth. Lewis is going to be very disappointed there in fifth. Surely the disappointment of the race. Ozone in sixth. Big in seventh. Brian eighth. Ash in... Oh no! Well, what on earth has happened there? My dear oh my. And I can only imagine here, Brian has been killed. Now, what on earth has happened there? Well, he's hit the walls, I imagine, there. And well, that is nearly unbelievable. He was going to finish eighth, but no, he's last. And I have no idea what has happened. Well, that is very, very strange indeed. But you might just say, though, Monroe is the top step man. He is the victor today. And pole position, a clean race. And in my opinion, driver of the day has to go to Ash. He drove his heart out through the entirety of this thing. Lewis winning race 1. Monroe winning race 2. But most importantly, we've had a good first race of the season. And I do hope, of course, you join us next week where we come to the second race of the season, wherever that is. But I have been Evil Dragon XXL, your humble commentator. Hopefully I shall see you next week. Potentially we'll see, of course, if the other commentators do return. But if not, I shall see you then. But hopefully you all take care. Goodbye and ta-ra.